Let's jump over on infrastructure for just a minute. That has been a highlight over the last week, and obviously President Trump announcing on Monday a $200 billion plan, but a levered plan of $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion. What is the plan on infrastructure? What do you think we'll get at the end of the day? Obviously, the president's has got a proposal. Where does Congress go?
Well, that's a big question. Everyone's sort of on the edge of their seats here. There's no formal agreement or any consensus that's being built just yet, because this is all new, hot off the presses. The interesting thing is that the Trump administration has said the federal investment portion of that 1.5 trillion or whatever the ultimate number winds up being is only going to be about 200 billion. The problem is, the concern is for a state like Louisiana is that we don't have a lot of matching funds. Obviously, we're in a budget deficit. Typically, we are again this year. And that's because state government has been run in ways that we regret, and we need to change all that. But until we can, and because we haven't to this point, we don't have a lot of dollars to go to the table and as bargaining chips to try to get big portions of that infrastructure package. That's a great concern to us because at least as of right now, the proposal that the president's come out with says that local and state matching funds really have to be the majority of the funds on any of these projects. So, it is going to be a mixture of private investment, private dollars, and it should be because that's a smart way to do things. But we just don't know all the details yet. We're going to lobby for every single dollar that we can in Louisiana because, look, we desperately need it. You and I and everyone listening to our voices knows that. We can argue we might have some of the greatest needs. Our roadways, our ports and infrastructure, all of it critically important to the country in terms of, what we bring into the port of New Orleans and our ports around the country, what we do for commerce in the country. So, we're all in a difficult spot, but we're going to do the very best we can to get as many of those dollars as we can for our state.
In looking at roads and infrastructure and ports, if you look at the most traveled roads by 18-wheelers and other things, taking things from Port Fourchon and the ports in north and south and southeast, southwest Louisiana, we have some of the highest trafficked roads because of that. And I looked at some schematics back in 2004, and it was pretty dramatic then, but it's only grown. So having a robust infrastructure is certainly something that we've got to have. It's a national security issue, as far as I'm concerned, for all of the U.S.
That's exactly right. And, just the Port of New Orleans alone is so critically important. It is a main artery for trade, exports and imports. We rank in the top 3, top 5, respectively. And that is a thing that we are always hammering home here in D.C. We want everybody to recognize, yes, Louisiana is great for our unique culture and tourism and all that, but we are central not only to the oil and gas industry, obviously, but for the ports and for every industry in the country because of what we do. And our highway system and roadways are, intimately connected to that for all the obvious reasons. We've got to maintain them. The problem is, in our state, as in many other places around the country, is we've had deferred maintenance for so long. And the longer you put off repairs to bridges and roadways and ports and the rest, ultimately the more it costs. So this is a matter of being smart about our investments, and we're going to continue to sing that chorus as often and as fervently as we can.